Sonic the Hedgehog. Hero to autistic people everywhere. Savior of something. I don't, fourth member of the Blue Man Group. Blue Bomber. Never went to Boston for that. Wait, no. Blue Bomber is Mega Man. Crap. However, for me, the little blue rat is something more than that. He is symbolic of my character development, apparently. The three Sonic movies, surprisingly enough, coincide directly with myself changing and growing socially and emotionally. For example, February 16th, 2020. 2 days after the first Sonic movie released, I went to see it with the boys, Bradley and Josh, and the girl who would end up becoming my first girlfriend and first ex, whom I will henceforth refer to as Cleopatra, as I am Marcus Antonius. If you know, you know. History people, where you at? So I had her, Cleopatra, purposefully sit in the front seat so I could pretend I was a bad driver to mess with her, which for some reason she never let go. She just assumed that was my normal driving for 4+ years, even though she drove with me quite a bit. But last I checked, I don't shake my steering wheel back and forth whenever I'm just driving or even just by myself. Just whenever. I don't normally do that. That was like the one time I ever have. I mean, besides if I'm trying to check like if my car's making a sound when I turn the wheel, sometimes I'll do that because you have to, but it's on my own street and at 10 o'clock at night, so there's no one around. It's not an issue. But anyway, before the movie we went ice skating, which thankfully Cleopatra's boyfriend at the time was neither able to attend nor invited to. I don't think he could drive yet, the little pain in the ass. There's a lot of reasons that I don't like them, and, you know, they remain on me. Them not being there was an absolute win for me, but it was very strange for Bradley, which, you know, I do and I don't regret. Because, you know, thank you, Bradley, for taking one for the team so I could have at least a single girlfriend down the line. You know, your heart and soul to the cause are greatly appreciated.
Your heart and soul to the cause!
He took one for the team there, you know, a worthy sacrifice. You know, I wish I had included him more, but at the same time, you know, it was a good time for me. Good emotional, loving time for me. And good memories, man. Very, very good memories. Also, but I'm low-key kind of mad about that though, because that was the last time I went ice skating. Anyway, after ice skating, we went into the mall where the theater was to grab a quick bite before the movie. I don't think I got food. I'm pretty sure I just ate popcorn for dinner, because, I mean, that's usually my go-to when we would go to movies. But yeah, Bradley might have. I'm not sure. I don't really remember. I was admittedly only really paying attention to Cleopatra during all this, as she got and ate whatever she got at the Philly cheesesteak place. I still have a picture of it somewhere. It's buried on my computer in a backup somewhere, because, you know, I'm the history dork. I don't delete anything. But yeah. I like that picture. Liked. There are pictures I could put here. I'm not putting here. I'm not going to find them. You can use your imaginations for stuff. Anyway, shortly before the movie started, Josh met up with us, and we all went up to watch the first Sonic movie to satiate Josh and I's intense, radiating Sonic autism. I was also able to, under the guise of group photos, get a nice second photo of me and Cleopatra together, because our first one was at Rhode Island Comic Con 2019. I was Jotaro. She was Joseph Joestar. You know, it just works like that. The plans were already in motion. The cogs were turning, man. Since that summer, September 1st, 2019, everything was already in motion. I was like light Yagami. Fucking when she broke up with her boyfriend, I literally just went to Josh. I feel really bad about it, but I've won. Exactly as planned. Anyway, so I got a nice picture of me and her, just us two, and then a picture of me and just the boys, and then we got a nice group photo, which I kept on my shelf for 4 years. Yeah, I kept that on my shelf since that day. Like, I printed that picture out because it's just such a good picture. It's not there anymore. I don't think I burned it. Maybe I did. Maybe it exists other places. There's a physical one in a scrapbook I made, so it's still around. Anyway, so after the movie, which was amazing, I still think it's good. Sonic Movie 1 is still a banger. Anyway, so Josh took Bradley home for me because I think it was more within his direction. Oh, Josh and I lived close to each other at the time, but I had to bring Cleopatra back to my house because she drove to my house and she lives 40 minutes away from me in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. Like, quite literally, think of Courage the Cowardly Dog, middle of nowhere.
Abandoned as a pup, he was found by Muriel, who lives in the middle of nowhere, but creepy stuff happens in nowhere.
But like a normal looking house and a lot of trees. Here's a better, without doxing, here's a better idea. Look up South Kingston, Rhode Island. That's essentially it. Like, find the most bumfuck nowhere middle of the woods place there. That's it. That's like half of her town. Anyway, so I ended up bringing her home. Josh brought Bradley home. We split up the deets. Josh knew. Josh knew what he was doing. The boys that day were real ones, man. They really put in the effort for me, and I'm really grateful for that. Like, I owe them big time still. Like, I owe them big time a million times over for all they did. But anyway, I think that night I vaguely remember her having bags, and that being why I didn't try to get a goodbye hug. Like, I'm 99.9% sure she had bags, or it just, like, it was too late, or maybe I felt too awkward, because I'm almost 100% sure that our first hug was when, like, after we went to the park for my birthday at the end of May during COVID, because I have a bunch of memes about it, like Anthony passed Act 1, or timing it to call your name to when we hug, because I caught it on my front door camera and it was super cute. Yes, I am that guy. I am that guy. So anyway, the day of Sonic, I had to take what I could at that point, you know. I had already had feelings for her for like 7 months by that point, and she was about 1.5 years into the relationship she was in at the time, so, you know, I didn't have any hope at that point. It was probably soon after that I ended up telling her, like, hey, you know, I do have feelings for you, I'm working on it, you know, I don't want to ruin your relationship. That's not my goal. I value you as a friend, and I value blah, 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 blah. Which she knew. She very much knew. Like, she told me, like, yeah, I knew. And, yeah. So, I mean, it all worked out in the end. So, I mean, towards that end, it all worked out. Towards the end of us ending up dating, it worked out towards that end. But, anyway, to summarize, Sonic Movie 1, Friends Outing, not quite date with Cleopatra. Besides that, Speed Me Up almost became like an anthem for me after that movie. I went with Cleopatra and a friend thrifting later that month, and for the total 1.5-ish drive there and back, that song was on repeat in my car. Sonic 2, on the other hand, released on April 8th, 2022. And of course, you know, not going on Valentine's Day when the first movie released because I didn't have anyone to go with. And I wasn't going to take Cleopatra because she was in a relationship. But April 8th, 2022, this time, opening day, seeing it, and bringing Cleopatra as my girlfriend. Absolute banger change there. Sonic Movie 1 single, Sonic Movie 2 not single. And that was like so important to me at the time. Like, I have proof. I've written proof of this. This is from, like, I do a thing where I just recording, like, overall how good a day was and, like, events that happen. So this is from that journal thing on my phone. Besides name changes, this is it. Quote, Cleopatra got me the Knuckles Build-A-Bear. got Panera with Cleopatra. Cleopatra got her Build-A-Bear axolotl filled and got a Sonic. Chilled at the massage chairs for an hour to kill time. Played How Well Do You Know Me with her for a bit. Saw Sonic 2 with Cleopatra. Saw the first as friends and the second as a couple. End quote. There you have it. So, like, proof that I was like, wow, this is awesome. I was so hyped about the movie, and thank God we didn't go back to my house after. I'm pretty sure we went back to her house. Or maybe we did go back to my house. Okay, I think I remember. I think she had a morning class, and then afterwards I went up to her house, and then we went from there. Because for us to have gotten Panera, it would have had to have been North Attleboro. Wait, no, because the Build-A-Bear is at... Is there a Build-A-Bear at Emerald Square Mall? This is going really off script. Hold on. We had to have got... Okay, we probably drove to the Panera near me that's over in Smithfield. Figure out where I am from there. Good luck. Yeah, we had to have been at Province Place. How did I get to this point? ADHD at its finest, man. This is gonna be way longer than I hoped it would be. So, you know, we saw Sonic 2. We saw Sonic 2, right? And for the original script for this, now that I think about it, it's wrong. But I have here, I was so hyped about that movie, and thank God we didn't go back to my house after that, because she probably would have been ravaged. She would anytime anyway, but especially after Sonic excitement, which, you know, that day it didn't happen, so it was probably just me being a gentleman. I was too busy thinking about Jim Carrey, man. Our loss of him and his death. Actually, no, I was probably too hyped about Shadow, which now think about it, should have made me ravage her more. Anyway, so at some point after that, I saw the movie a second time with, you've seen him on this channel, Logan, Marcio, and Josh. I believe Bradley saw it separately with his girlfriend, or was going to at that point. I don't know. But I didn't look when that was. It was just at some point afterwards. But Sonic 2 was really where the movie fever fit, where the movie fever really hit me in Cleopatra, and, you know, where we both together got all the Build-A-Bears. I mean, I say together because I got Sonic, Supersonic, and Knuckles, and she got Tails, Sonic, Supersonic. But, so like, she had Tails, I had Knuckles. Either of us didn't have the other. I don't think she ever got Knuckles. I mean, I ended up getting Tails from Sonic 3 when that wave dropped. Enough about Build-A-Bear Sonic. The movie soundtrack, again, on repeat. Banger. The guy who did it, Tom Holkenborg, I think, is the guy that does it. But his soundtracks are always good. Like, I know Junkie XL worked on it too, but it's like, all right, 300 Rise of an Empire, our Godzilla vs. Kong, Godzilla and Kong, banger movie soundtracks. So, you know, it was really important to me with all this that Sonic 1 was seen with me and Cleopatra as friends, and Sonic 2 was as a couple. But, you know, this is where things take a turn for the Maria.
Maria!
Sonic 3 released on December 20th, 2024. I was in Florida at the time and saw it with my good buddy Raydeep. And once again, he's been in a few streams here. Anyway, Sonic 3 I saw, like Sonic 1, again, as a single man. But this time, Cleopatra was gone, just like Maria. It was not fun. I mean, it was still fun to go see it. It was a good end to a rather depressing year, you know. Sonic is always great, man. Sonic will pull you out of anything. Sonic is my go-to just because I love that little rat. I love all those little rats running around. But, you know, good end for the year of Sonic for me, because, I mean, Sonic and Shadow came out that, you know, brought it up. I don't remember what happened at the beginning of 2024 for Sonic. I don't think there was much, but I went to Sonic Symphony September 15th at the Boston show, and now that's a panic attack PTSD trigger. And, you know, Sonic 3, at least I was able to get through relatively well with the messages really hitting home for me. You know, all the stuff about, you know, loss, handling that, moving on, blah, 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 blah. Still struggling, but yay, Shadow! So I was still absolutely hyped bonkers style. God, why did I write that? for that movie, and it lived up to and surpassed almost every expectation. Like, it's up there for me for favorite, like the best movies I've seen, right next to Godzilla King of the Monsters 2019 and the original Jaws. So now, if we take a step back, we see a timeline here. Sonic 1, single. Sonic 2, not single. Sonic 3, single. Sonic 1's theme of forming bonds leading to Sonic 2 and continuing to form bonds and working together kind of mirrors me building my bond with Cleopatra in the first movie and continuing to grow it deeper during our relationship with the second movie. Then we have Sonic 3, which covers dealing with loss and coincided with not even 5 months after my relationship ended and I was sent spiraling, much like Shadow before Sonic sends him to the moon. Yeah, about 4.5 months-ish afterwards. I don't need to be this technical about it, but you're gonna be... If I have to be this technical, you have to suffer with me. But yeah, so I was sent spiraling through that, much like Shadow before Sonic sends him to the moon, like it's an ASDF movie.
When I grow up, I want to go to the moon!
Why wait?
How these perfectly lined up somehow, or whether I'm just pulling shit out of my ass. Either way, I have no idea, because by the time Sonic 4 releases next year, I'll have been able to hopefully restore a friend group at least to somehow coincide with that, or at least, well, hopefully have a new girlfriend, because, you know, Amy, that would be cool to coincide with that. Yeah, go Sonic, Shadow, my beloved, you will always be my ultimate life form. Yay. Sonic Symphony redo at some point, hopefully. Definitely not gonna cause me to break down again for another straight hour. Let's go. I should probably... No, I probably shouldn't do a video for Sonic Symphony. I mean, it'd be interesting. Why am I talking as if I'm on stream? This is going to be a very strange video, but I mean, it's at the end at this point, so I don't really know how to end this, so now. Yeah, Sonic Symphony, man. Maybe I'll throw like a clip of that here, because you'll probably hear me in the background screaming with the Sonic Frontiers music. So yeah, I'll throw that here. That's how I'll end this video. That's how this is going out. Alright, see ya.